Yes, we were very sure from the day one that we would be out. Indian government won't let us remain there. I remember when we were being taken to the court and my both daughters both were there and I was handcuffed. And I wanted to tell Rekha that why did you bring them? But that was the first time I thought that, I felt little low on my morale. It is actually the military training which has made me continue for 17, 18 months. No, we had no idea when we were taken in as why we are being taken in. We had no idea. It's been 4 years plus we were working in that company and in Qatar.
There was no much clarity on this. It was all told that they have taken somewhere, but we did not have much clarity, and or rest everything was coming in the news. So we also did not know. Till now, we don't know much about this case.
After being locked in a detention center in Qatar for 18 months on espionage charges, 7 former officers of the Indian Navy returned to India. Speaking to India Today TV, Commander Sanjeev Gupta, who is among the 8 released, thanked PM Narendra Modi and the central government for their help in difficult times. Sanjeev Gupta also said the 18 months he spent in solitary confinement were extremely difficult.
After 18 months in a Qatari solitary confinement in a prison, sentenced to death on charges they knew nothing about, 8 former Indian Navy personnel were sentenced to death. 7 of the 8 are now back in India. And with me is Commander Sanjeev Gupta and his wife Rekha Gupta, finally breathing free air back home in India. Commander Gupta, many congratulations, you're back home. Did you think this day would be possible?
Yes, we were very sure from the day one that we would be out. Indian government won't let us remain there. So we were very sure about it.
You were sure that you will come back one day, even though you were in a solitary confinement, even though you'd actually been sentenced to death?
We were in solitary confinement, but only after 30 days we realized that what is happening, why, we are inside. But after 30 days we knew that Indian government would take us out.
Were you this confident, ma'am? Rekha Gupta, Commander Gupta's wife, also with us. He was in solitary confinement, but these 18 months would have been torture even for you.
I was equally in pain as he was, but I had a confidence in my Indian government, and plus Modi ji hai to mumkin hai, and they had given all the assurance to us that don't worry. They were very supportive all this time while. So I did not have iota of doubt that they are not going to come back due to our Indian government and Modi ji and our honorable EM and plus Ambassador of India to Qatar, Mr. Vipul.
Yeah. So you were working for this company called Dehra Group in Qatar, and you'd been working there for quite some time. What happened? Suddenly you were taken into custody. Did you know why were you taken into custody?
No, we had no idea when we were taken in as why we are being taken in. We had no idea. It's been 4 years plus we were working in that company and in Qatar.
So one day the police suddenly landed up, picked you up, and you were taken into solitary confinement.
Yes.
And kept there.
Yes.
And then?
And thereafter, everyone is aware that there was a court case and we used to go in the court and come back. That's what. There was a case against us.
Did you get to hear the details of the case? What were the charges against you? What were you being, charged with?
No, actually, we had no idea as why we have come in. All this guessing and all, which was hearsay, which we were hearing, but formally we were not told as what is the charges.
Okay. Ma'am, what about you? What did you hear of? What did you get to know what was happening? And when did you know that they'd been arrested and put in solitary?
I think after 5 or 6 days, Indian embassy informed us about this, but there was no much clarity on this. It was all told that they have taken somewhere, but we did not have much clarity, and or rest, everything was coming in the news, so we also did not know. Till now, we don't know much about this case. What is this case?
So, as journalists, whatever information we were also picking up, we were told it's very, very sensitive since their lives were at stake and the government was at it. What did you know of the efforts that the government was making, if at all, at that time?
See, at this time, I would whatever we were coming to know is through consular access and through family members. So we came to know that MEA is making statements, and through that they were in direct touch with the Qatari government, and all these things we came to know through the statements which were made by the ministry.
You also, you and all the other Navy wives and families went and met the External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jaishankar. You met other officials in the ministry. What were you told? What was happening, ma'am?
Full confidence they had given us. They said, you don't have to worry. We are working on this, and this is our objective, to bring them back to their country.
And you were confident because you also traveled to Qatar several times.
Yes, multiple times I've traveled to Qatar, but I was very confident. After meeting Mr. our EM, Honorable EM, we were very confident they are going to come back to their country. That we did not have any doubt. They are not going to come back.
So that was very heartening. Of course, this is something about Fauji families, that their morale is always high, even in a difficult situation. It's perhaps brought up with that never say die spirit, is it?
I wanted to say that it is actually the military training which has made me continue for 17, 18 months. It was that, original our academy, Ragda Patti, which has made us tough, because it was a psychological, trauma for all of us. All of us who were inside, physically we were all okay, but we, as the age, we all were around 50 plus. I'm 56, and we all had some, so to say, BPs and all that thing issues.
Was that looked after?
Yes. Yes, that was looked after. That was looked after by them.
How did you keep your morale high? How did all the officers keep their morale high?
See, almost, at least for me, I was reading books. Some of them were doing, going through the spiritual phase, and they used to do puja and all for, 5-6 hours. TV for a few hours. That's it.
Did you go through that spiritual phase yourself? Is that faith in God that kept you going?
Absolutely. That was the, God is there, no? God is great. We always hear that God is great. So that was the only belief, and that our pujas also really helped us, keeping us mentally strong. And I think that has worked also in our case.
Because this is also very torturous for the family. Your daughters, for them, two young girls hearing of their father having been sentenced to death or kept in solitary confinement.
Yeah, I remember when we were being taken to the court, and my both daughters, both were there, and I was handcuffed. And I wanted to tell Rekha that why did you bring them? But that was the first time I thought that, I felt little low on my morale. Otherwise, I was very confident because of her thing, because of her government. I used to tell in the last 3, 4, 5 months when we were together, me and my partner. So I used to tell, sir, it is G and G, God and government. They will take us out. Believe you me, they will take us out. And that is what has happened.
So is that your thinking? I mean, what tipped the scales in your favor?
Same, government to government, only government is the one who have brought them back to their country, and that is the only, I have nothing, only to thanks to government and thanks to Modi ji to bring them back to their country.
Is that also your thinking?
Absolutely. It is, I mean, I am not political or something, but Modi ji has made a solid difference to this. Last 10 years, what I have been, like 5, 6 years I've been there, so we used to watch news very, regularly. It is Modi ji which has made a difference to the difference. The way the India is being now looked outside it's really remarkable.
Okay, but that very interesting. Your faith in God and your faith in the government to bring you back home, and actually that actually worked. I'm so glad all of you are together, and the family is happy once again.
Gaurav, last thing which I would like to say, I would like to thank the Indian citizens and the media. These two, I mean, it's because of the Indian citizen. I have come back last 2, 3 days. They have been showing me all the how Indian citizens have come together and how responsibly media has taken it up very quietly, forcefully. Media has given this thing. They have not made a bombastic remarks or something like that, because of which has really helped us a lot.
Thanks. Actually, the only aim was to ensure that all of you come back home and safe, and I'm glad that's happened, ma'am. And I wish all of you much happiness together, great health and happiness.
Thank you very much.
For the entire family. So finally, the officers and the sailors are back. The 8th, we are told, will also is out of harm's way, is now free, and would be back soon. With cameraman Lalit Mohan Joshi in Delhi, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
Do tell us what you think about this video in the comment section. To get such stories and updates, subscribe to Aaj Tak AI.